I'm Pastor Kevin Wilfley with the Upper Columbia Conference Prayer Ministries, and I'm so pleased to bring you another answer to prayer. I'd like to introduce to you Pastor Volody. He is the pastor for the Slavic churches in Spokane, Washington. Thank you for coming, Volody.
I grew up in the former Soviet Union, and I remember when I was almost 7 years old, we had a church service in our home. We were moving church services from home to home so that the police and the KGB would not be able to track us down. And we had a group of more than 40 people meeting on that particular Sabbath in our home. It was a winter, it was a very cold winter, and when people come to the church services, they usually take their boots off and their coats off, and there was not much room for their stuff. So there were boots all over the place and coats in the kitchen and everywhere. And we had this bigger type of room for the church services. It was in January 1976 when there was a strange knock on the door, and my mother went to answer the door, and there was two policemen. They came to see if there was any illegal type of worship going on in our home. I remember I went with my mom to answer the door and to see what's going on, and I saw those two policemen coming into our house. My mom took them to the separate room on the side to answer their questions, and I was surprised that they did not see winter boots and the coats, because if they would see any of that, they would realize we have a church service in our home. I was kind of excited to see what would be happening next. The church people, our members, the service was interrupted, and they were asked to pray for God's protection. If we were caught having this service in our home would be confiscated, and my father would get from 10 to 15 years in prison. I was going back and forth to one room, and then I would come out to see my mother, and I remember the church people kneeling down in prayer. The sense of peace was felt in the audience. People were calm, they were praying, they were trusting the Lord. And as I came out to see these two policemen again, I saw one of them walking around the room trying to figure out what's going on, because he felt like something should be happening here. He came to the door that was leading to the big room and was trying to open the curtain to see through the window inside that big room. But I saw, as he approached the door and he lifted his arm to open the curtain, his arm literally stopped and kind of froze in the air. And I believe that the Lord intervened and stopped his hand right there, that he could not go any further. Then he turned to his buddy, another policeman, and he said, there is nothing here, let's go. And they left. My mom entered the place where we had a church service, and she said, they just left. We had a communion service that particular Sabbath. It was very special. When I look back and I remember that experience, it gives me faith in the big God that we serve. He is able to control Russian policemen, and he intervened on the behalf of his praying church.